So the premise is, how do we empower the digital world with the real world and crush the odds from lead opportunity to lead conversion? And that's what I want to, so sometimes we know somebody that's looking to buy or sell, or we meet them somewhere and stuff like that, but that sometimes we're not getting them as a customer. There's just so many of us out there, and it's causing, making it more difficult for us. And so it's basically this, the challenge that we have is converting lead opportunities into real customers in what I call a saturated and competitive real estate market. It seems like every other person has a real estate license in Florida, and that's creating it more difficult for us that want to do this as a full-time career and makes a living for our household. But this can be accomplished. And the things that I'm going to show you today enhance that tenfold. Because really the goal is how do we sell ourselves and make ourselves the most valuable opportunity, and what can we do to get that to happen? And that's what we're going to show you today. The reason we seldom, you know, so I think in the context of most, we're not doing a really solid job of promoting ourselves. And I'm not saying it in a way like, you need a house, call 1-800-SCOTT. That's not promoting, that's advertising. But promoting would be, sharing the right values so people want us, like they're drawn to us, they're influenced to us, where and whenever possible, a valued solution for the buyer and seller needs. And so that's a part that I feel that the masses of realtors are simply weak at, and this is going to help you with that. We need to improve self-promotion that influences more real estate buyers and seller leads to choose us for services. We step out, and we need to have that creative way to show them that we are the right person to help them. So solution: shift our mindset and prioritize promoting ourselves as the valued solution for buyers and sellers wherever and whenever possible. And so, how do we make that shift? And I'm going to be using the open house as an example. We're going to walk through what we do in general as real estate agents when we decide to host an open house, and why we need to do it a lot different. We follow what everybody else does, and what majority or 99% of the realtors in the business are not doing it in a way that creates the opportunities that they could be creating in these events. So I'm gonna skip that. So the open house event. So how do we generally approach that? So here's some stats, because if you don't know these are factual stats. Open houses are tremendously beneficial to meet in person, face to face, real buyers and sellers. The opportunity to sell that listing, although, is only 4%. So there's only a 4% chance that the person that's coming to your open house event is going to say, yeah, this is the house. Let's write up the deal. Let's close it. Okay. With that said, though, when we're blasting it on social media, when we're, really engaging the people coming through the door, what we're doing is really pushing the product, the home, and it's not necessarily the home that's going to be the right one for them. And we really need to shift into, sell me, let the home sell itself mode. And we're going to, talk further about that. So we know that if I said to most realtors, why do you host an open house? Because it is the purpose of generating leads. Open houses are about generating buyer and seller leads. However, why is it that 95% of the visitors at your open house events or in general, realtors get ghosted after that person leaves. You get a commitment to follow up, but then what happens? They ghost. So that's a significant problem. There's a huge amount of missed opportunity there because we are not necessarily approaching it correctly. So let's talk about that. So when you get ghosted, that means you're reaching out, you're trying to text them, you're trying to call them, you're trying to email them, and they're ignoring you, right? They're ignoring you. But we had an agreement before they left that I could follow up with them. So no response is a response, right? No response is a response. We may not know why, but I can say the majority is when we were actually face to face with them, we didn't sell it. And that was the value of ourselves, the solution, whatever that is. So no response is a response. Now it could be something different. And the only other applicable one that I could think of is maybe it's the timing element. So if it's not the timing element, then it was you didn't do a good job selling yourself to get them to at least get on the phone with you or respond to a text, at least give you a response. Instead, they're ignoring you. So the other one would be, hey, they come into the open house today, but they're really not going to be ready to shop homes until after the holiday, after the end of the year. So they see that space between now and the end of the year so far away that they don't feel like responding to you, makes much sense at this point. And so that's the situation where you need to have systems to continually gravitate towards them and put something in front of them, whether it's a text, email, or a telephone call, or whatever, until that time, because when it gets within that window to where they think it makes sense to talk to you, then they engage. Okay. But the majority of this is the fact that we're selling the house that they don't even want in the first place. They don't know they don't want it until they come in and see what it is, instead of ourselves. And it comes all the way to the beginning when we decide to do the open house and we say, oh, we're going to market it. Where's the general place we market it? I mean, we put it in the MLS and the MLS feeds it out so that it's populated into the websites and stuff like that. But we use social media, right? Social media is one of the big ways to do that. So social media, and so, but I look at this stuff, I read it, I see what agents are doing, and they're doing it weekly. So they put all the pictures of the home, tell it when the time is, but where's the agent? The agent's the person that posted it, but there's no selling mechanism or no promoting of themselves. And so when you do the marketing, if you want something that has true call to action, you need to be equivalently in that marketing as the property that you're presenting. You're selling yourself and the property simultaneously, and having as much call to action as you can. And you see one big call to action piece here in the start doing this, no buyer broker agreement, right? Because we know if we're representing the seller and hosting an open house, we don't need the buyer to do a buyer broker agreement with us. However, if they want to go further beyond that point, the meet and greet in person and the opportunity, then that conversation has to come about. But at this point, all we're trying to do is bring people to the door. Our job is to bring as many people into that event as possible so that we can capture them as a customer and serve them. whether it be selling or them buying the home that we're hosting or another home. And so think about every time you do marketing and anything, is it selling myself as well? And is there any absolute mechanism, the call to action to get people there? This is a still picture representation. Now I'm going to show you video. Another place, 99% of the realtors that do videos to promote their open house, they will, get everything ready, and then they stand out front and they say, hey, I'm at 123 South Street and I'm hosting my open house. It starts in 15 minutes. Let's go take a tour. What do? They go tour the property before the customer even comes. They're doing it right there on video and providing the opportunity that someone makes a decision that that's not going to be the property for them now. And then they don't come. So, a better way, not that it shouldn't be video is quality, video is king, video gets attention, but maybe do it where you're limited to standing out in front of the property, talking about the property. If you flash a couple quick shots, but very simple, and then in the video with a hook and a call to action, you want to really see everything I just described to you. I'm here, come see it. That's what we should be doing. Instead, oh, I'm going to have an open house, but don't worry, you don't need to come to the open house. Let's go see it right now. I'm going to do is walk through it with a video and then tell you to come. Okay, that's actually defeating the purpose or killing call to action instead of creating call to action. Also, with your videos, you should always end with, your favorite realtor or your neighborhood realtor or your community realtor or who you choose matters, and your name and your contact information. So, you're self-selling. Again, you should be as prevalent in any of this marketing stuff, no matter what it is, as the homes that you're presenting, because it's what you're really selling is you and your services. Always, and another thing about open houses is always knock the neighbors with a friendly invitation to the open house event. Never skip this step. We all already know the statistics. Within, usually within 20 doors in the same neighborhood, within a 30-day period, when you list a house or a new listing comes on the market, another one will come on the market. And that's a very, very important step. Let's take it further. So what do? We make flyers, we print out MLS sheets, or we make a flyer about the property, and that's our handout. Solely that. And again, you just made it all about the house and not about you. Instead, I'm showing some templates that we have, front and back of a flyer. That's a little bit about the house. This particular one is for the door knocking event. Actually, your neighbor is selling their home, so you have a little bit of information, big about the event location and time, and then in the front and the back is selling the agent. And this is a much more dramatic piece that you could be given the consumers or the people at the door knocking, or even similar when they walk into the property, versus just a flyer or an MLS sheet that says this is the property. Again, only 4% want to see it. So why would we be so focused on giving them something they have no value in instead of the value of ourselves? Open house events, increase conversion, stop providing handouts that exclusively showcase the property and start providing handouts that exclusively showcase you and your valued solution for buying and selling homes. How you? That's going to be a big game changer. So here's, I guess, a similar thing. I'm going to harp on that. Increase conversion. Focus on selling you make the conversations about the visitor's desires and needs and showcasing yourself for valued solution to make the homeownership a reality with the best buying experience and terms. Okay. And I'm going to show you a little illustration. So less of this. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I mean, you got to tell them that, of course. Let me show you how nice this kitchen is, da, 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 and more of this. Looking at them face to face, you got their attention. What brings you here today? Do you have a timeline? The kinds of questions where you're engaging with them and trying to understand them and their needs and being able to sell them solutions. And that's the rising difference. So only when a visitor has serious interest in the property will you provide a property flyer. So I'm not saying don't have a property flyer, but when they walk in the door, the right thing to do is hand them a flyer that sells you. Thank you for coming. Your name? My name is Scott Barrett with Florida Luxury Realty, and you are? What brings you here today? And hand them a flyer that sells you only. Show them the home, engage with them. In the tour, maybe in the kitchenette area, and then you can ask them the magical question. The magical question would be, can you see yourself living here? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you in this particular property? If they're gauging, half of notion, then you can hand them the flyer. Otherwise, they leave only with stuff about you. Because if there's no interest in the property, there's no reason to give them a property flyer in the first place. Keep them focused on you. So, gave you a big bunch of bullet points about doing open houses. Anybody have any thoughts or questions about what I shared? Because the next things that I'm going to share with you is how we can showcase our values in a way that's totally revolutionary. Anyone have any thoughts or questions? Okay, well said. All right, so let's go through this. How can we maximize lead conversion using available resources that exist today? And so this is going to be the tour. So we all know what a landing page is? The landing page lives on the web, internet-based, and it has one sole purpose: to try to capture someone's wants. And their wants are about real estate in the real estate agent world. So this particular image shows get your home's value. That's a landing page. It's a one single page website with its sole purpose to think that if somebody came to this web page, they must be interested in maybe selling their home, and they want to know how much it might be worth. And if they're, fill out or give us their address and their contact information, then we spit back this prospective value of property. And then we're engaged to follow up with them and say, hey, did you get the information? And are you looking to sell? That's a landing page, and that's a true example of a landing page in the real estate world. And we've seen them, and this is a very common type of landing page. I just explained what it is. It's a single purpose, single page website specifically to hook visitors into taking action. It has call to action, right? To provide their contact information in exchange for content that values them. Common ones, featured listing. So if you have a single listing web page, that could be a landing page. There is something that defines it as a landing page. The definition of a landing page is its value of giving something for something, and that is giving them information that is compelling or of interest to them, but in exchange for what? Their contact information. So the way a landing page typically works, you get so much time and then it pops up and says, hey, you want to stay here? Tell me who you are. Or if you want more information or the final product, tell me who you are, and then I'll send it to you by email or something. So featured listing, home valuation, and download a home, how to buy a home or how to sell a home. These are ones that we often see. They're very common. We have them in our CRM product in Lofty. But so it only works if someone's really willing to give up the information. So sometimes we're speaking to potentially a seller, but maybe that particular landing page isn't enough to capture them. So we're going to talk about that. So we exchange information for information, and it's usually done through a form. So our landing page source and for Luxury Realty is Lofty, and we can do a little bit of Lofty, but Lofty has some ready-made landing pages that you can plug and play. And for the most part, we've kind of we use these in the digital world, so that might be something we share on our social media or post it, and then it draws in an opportunity. But we're going to show you a different way to use these. So landing page in Lofty is totally customizable. You can change the layout, the images, the text, the pop-up message control. So you can give them 5 seconds. You can give them 2 minutes before they have to enter their information. It has lead tagging, so we know what kind of lead that thing is capturing, so we know how to handle it with future correspondence. And then we have something in Lofty called the AI chatbot, which is an automated conversation chatbot that will have conversations at intelligent human level capabilities. It's remarkable. Okay. So what happens if a buyer lead visits a landing page and is not the helper information they desire? It doesn't capture. They're like, okay, you want my information? Not really interested that much. I'm not giving up my information, and they escape away, right? So you don't capture a lead, resulting in a lost opportunity. So what is a better way? And how can we create a better solution to capture and convert more leads? This is where you got to really start paying attention, because this is where it gets really, really remarkable. So what if we could create a menu of landing page options specific to capture a lead? So rather than only one sort of option, like how much is my home worth? What if there could be, different options for a seller to choose from, like a menu? So that's where this product we found called Linktree comes in. Linktree is a mobile link web page, and if you look at the illustrations, you can see the buttons on the mobile phone, and they're basically options. And so we're able to take and create these things and give multiple options to a consumer. And I'm going to give you lots of examples here. So some of the features of a Linktree is custom brand. You can custom brand it to you. You can create title buttons and links to any other web page. You can customize the colors and styles to fit you. Add custom buttons and images, and embed and feature YouTube videos, which is completely intriguing. That is the piece of this that's the magic. I show an illustration of one. That's Liliana. She's a recent agent that joined us, and that's basically her digital business card, which is completely unique. More Linktree features. You can create add to contacts, so they can push a button and then your information goes right into their phone contacts. You can put forms in them. You can put the little icon at the top above the buttons that has the telephone icon and the email icon, so that the customer that sees this can actually push the little touch the screen and push the telephone button, and it will call you directly. QR code for printing materials. analytics per link. So every menu item on the link tree has its own analytics, so you can track the progress and success of that. And the entire link tree has analytics. Very powerful stuff. And I'll show you how that means something for yourself and the customers you serve. Create as many different link trees as you want, so you don't have just one. And you can actually use free accounts that do all of this. How can we market our link trees? So if we're in the real world, it's called a QR code. So that's where it goes on some kind of printed material in the real world, not the digital world. If you go and share your link trees in the digital world, you share the URL as shown below the image there is the URL. So if you were blasting this on social media, you would have the link to the link tree versus in the printed world, you'd have it so that they could take a picture with their smartphone and it takes them to the link tree. So let me talk a little deeper. So talked about open house today. And this is an example. So if you look here, you see a yard sign and you see a open house coming soon sign, which in our beta test, we are putting these out 1 week before the open house. So the Saturday before the Saturday, this goes in the yard. And we already know who's scanning this is the neighbors mostly. And so our link trees are kind of dedicated to speaking to the owners of properties around the listing as much as it could be potentially a buyer. So here is event marketing. So I showed you, hey, create something and as the first thing and maybe the only thing you would give somebody at maybe an open house event would be a flyer. And so here's an example of the front and the back of a flyer that has 3 QR codes. All 3 of them go to link trees, and each one has a specific purpose, as you can see in the illustration. Amazing solutions for buyers, amazing solutions for sellers, and the other one is their digital business card. As far as the open house event itself, the door knocking flyer has a 2-sided and it has, your neighbor is selling their home, grand open house, get the details, the QR code on the reverse side. Are you interested in buying or selling a home? Solutions for buyers, solutions for sellers. If somebody visits the home and they might be interested in that home, or they definitely want a flyer because maybe it's somebody else they know that has interest in the home, then there would be the flyer, which then has a QR code on the one side so that they can see, they could literally walk through the home again on the screen, video tours, details, and then the back side is self-selling. It's solutions for buyers, solutions for sellers. Very compelling, very self-serving or self-selling, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. Yard sign. And this is my daughter's going out to a buyer consultation right now because of this yard sign. We know that we've seen realtor companies put yard signs out with QR codes on them, but I have never seen one that put out until we've done this where you can actually read the QR code from the roadside. So the size of this QR code is 24 inches by 24 inches, and you literally can read it from 150 feet away with the car moving, and it will open the link tree. And it also, we have found, we've beta tested a couple different versions. This one is getting by far the most hits because it has 100% curiosity behind what does it do? What does it do? And we are getting a ton of traffic from this. So here's a picture of an open house event link tree. And the QR code, if you want, I'll give you a moment and you can literally scan that QR code and you will see a live working link tree. I'll give you 30 seconds or 60 seconds. And all of those links are custom landing pages. And the video kind of grabs you. You think you may be seeing something about the home, but what do you see? And what's selling? You're seeing you, the real estate agent, now providing real true value by speaking directly to opportunities about your services in a very compelling way. I got somebody coming in. I'm moving on. So I'm just showing you some examples of stuff that we've already got out there working. Property yard sign link tree. So this is the one for the yard sign. I also want to go back. The one I just showed you, the previous one, there is one link, there is one custom landing page on this that is totally cool, and that's the one that says view all homes in Magnolia Estates. So as an agent today, with this kind of technology, when you get a listing in a new community, maybe you've never had a listing before there, but you can instantaneously become a featured listing of that community because that landing page is completely that community only, and it is live at all times and shows the active inventory to whoever's viewing it. And if a home gets sold, it leaves. If a new home comes on, it comes on. In addition, the video that was created at the top can be created when you get your marketing for your listing done. Our company will do the videos for that as well. Again, you're featured, you're talking, and you are now the community expert. It is amazing, and this can work anywhere as well. So the next one is the property yard sign. Again, you get out and you're talking to them, that you have all the information about the property, the virtual tours and stuff like that. As because we all have apps, everybody on the planet wants to use apps, and you have your own personal app in the app store for your real estate. They can actually click and learn why they should have the app and then download the app from there. So not only are you just saying download my app, you're able to share exactly why they should own your app, or not own it, but get it, because it's actually so valuable and intriguing for shopping local homes. And then as you can see, most every one of these link trees have one unique commonality, and it says book a 15-minute buyer or seller complimentary consultation. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Curious what your home is worth. So if a neighbor scans that QR code on your yard sign, the neighbor does, what is something they like? They want to know how much their home is worth. You just made it really simple for them to click and find that out, and it's capturing them as a lead for yourself. Digital business card, obviously, that's again, if you want, you can scan this and see, but the message that Ashley is on all these, because I've used her as a big example. She's talking, she's very compelling, she's very influential, she's very professional, she's very informative, everything that someone could possibly want in choosing a real estate agent. She's able to speak to them directly without ever being in front of them, earning the opportunity to get them engaged and attract customers like never before. So some of the other ways you can use it, your printed business card. So your printed card could be a lead magnet to get your digital card. There's another tool, which I'm not showing you here, but we've actually programmed keychains with chips in them that when the keychain touches a phone, your business card pops up on the phone. And it's called an NFC chip. So what do we do when we close homes? We hand the keys, right? So now when you close a home and you hand the keys, you're also handing your digital business card, because people lose your card, your physical card, but we don't often lose our keys. And that's with them everywhere they go. And so if they engage with a conversation and they loved what you did for them, they literally can then touch their key ring to somebody's phone and you pop right up and start talking to them. Totally amazing stuff. Buyer solutions. This one is there, but this one is not completely done, because in each one of the landing pages here is a separate video, because these are the kinds of questions that we frequently get from buyers. Why do I have to sign a buyer broker agreement? So imagine having something you could share with somebody before you even meet and greet with them. Hey, I'd like to send you a link, and it's going to tell you a lot of things that you need to know. And then when we sit down together, we can, be more serious about it. So now you're saving time, creating automation, and when you're sharing the information, you're sharing it in a compelling way every time. And that's what makes it so powerful. Why a buyer broker agreement? Can I avoid paying an agent to help me? What are the right steps to buying a home? All of these are solutions. Seller solutions. And I can go on and on. Post-closing, send in a link. You come out and you tell them how how valuable it was that you had the opportunity to serve them, and da 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 da. And by the way, if you would be kind enough, it would make me feel really good if you would give me a review, and just click the link below. And now your chances of getting true reviews from your clients that you're closing increases in exponentially. They can add the contacts. So this would be a point. So, you've finished basically with them, you close them. Now it makes more sense and it's appropriate to say, hey, let's connect on my social media and keep the relationship moving for future opportunities for you and friendship with them. So you can use this so many different ways. Expired listings. We are now beta testing it with expired listings, and we are getting appointments. So it's working. It's through postcards. We're sending postcards out with very compelling information. This link tree isn't working. And when they click on it, we are telling them exactly what they would love to hear and showing in a professional way. And it's engaging and it's bringing opportunities. So all of this is creating lead attraction, and it's helping you significantly change the whole game at converting. Here's an example of postcard. So you can see here's an example of a expired flyer. That QR code is not the right QR code, so don't scan that. So, expired listing, get this kind of flyer. Getting it sold is the goal. Homes are selling every day. So, that's what they think. Oh, everybody says nobody's selling a home. That's not true. Homes are selling every day. In the last quarter, 3,515 homes sold. But look at the call to action here. The call to action. 50% less buyers saw your home because your agent priced it too low. What? Priced it too low? I won't tell you the message behind that, but it's getting attention, getting appointments, and making things happen. It's amazing. So you can do postcards to link trees, you can do everything and make things buyer seller seminars. So if you're going to host a seminar and you want to, attract first-time home buyers or something, and you want something that really, engages people to actually attend, because the messages inside the link trees, when you blast it out on social media and stuff, serve you explaining the values of attending and the solutions that you provide. It's incredible. It will up the game. Community events. So if you're doing community events, you can create link trees. So you can see it just goes on and on. You go on FISBOs and just everything. So the most influential component in the big piece of this puzzle is the video. Is the video of you speaking to whomever is watching. And that's the big piece. It's selling value, it's showcasing you in a whole new way automatically, and bringing opportunities. I'm not going to show it. So back to landing pages for a minute, because that's the links inside that link tree are landing pages. And so I kind of want to tell you, Lofty is the company that makes all this incredible stuff, and the landing pages that make this magic really happen are only available in Florida Luxury Realty, because I screenshotted one of my Zoom meetings. I worked with my direct contact or account manager, and then on top of that person, I worked with the manager that oversees support and development, and we worked for 3 months to build landing pages that are the ones that we stuffed into all of your accounts last week, and no one else has them on the planet, and they're the ones that you have videos attached and all of that stuff. So there are 4 main ones, and then you are able to duplicate those and then massage them or make changes so that they work. Like the community one, you can make one. Once your community one is made for one community, you make a duplicate of it, and then you edit it for another community, so you can have multiple. Every community in the state of Florida, you could have a landing page for yourself. Now, not only on top of that, we are able to put SEO code inside these landing pages, and we feel over the coming months, these landing pages have the probability, because we don't see too many community type landing pages that exist in the web, that they will actually start surfacing well on Google results. And guess what? You are the contact and featured. So when they get to your landing page, not only are you coming out and saying, hey, check out this community, and telling them in video from yourself and showing all the video of it, every property live that's active, you're the only community. It goes directly to you, whether they're scheduling a showing through the landing page or whatever. All the communications goes to you, all the leads go into your Lofty account and such. So that's just one example, but it took a lot of effort and time for me to make this happen and create this stuff. So I talked about the community one. I'm not going to go through. I think I told you most of the features, because I really want to continue on here. The consultation, this is really cool. So all of the pages should have a consultation. Not only do you have a video that you pop up so that you're telling them. So what we found in doing this, we've been beta testing it, and in a perfect example, what happened with my daughter this evening is they on the book a consultation, but if all of a sudden they're only presented with, hey, a calendar, pick a time and date, I feel we feel that people are going to like, I'm not really, I don't think I'm going to do it. But now we got a video there, and you are able to continue to share your values in the persuasion of why having a consultation makes sense. When you want to build a relationship, a realtor that's going to help you versus just going out and shopping homes, right? And so that piece is actually up in the game for people to actually click and make the appointments. Now, this is also tied to your Google Calendar. So if you have events on your Google Calendar, it will not allow them to book over top of something you already have on your Google Calendar. And when they book it, it goes on your Google Calendar. Both you and them get a text message that the booking occurred, and it tells you who they are, your phone number, if you want to engage or acknowledge them immediately. And then 1 hour before the consultation time, each of you get a reminder to attend the consultation. Totally automated, cool as crap, amazing stuff. Automation. So book a consultation, I kind of talked about that. Exclusive landing pages. And so the landing pages where you have like what's the logical first step to buying a home, or why buy a broker agreement, all of those landing pages again have a video space where you can speak about that particular thing that they are interested in understanding better in a compelling way that draws them to consider you. So let's give you an example of that. Do I have to pay a buyer broker agent to help me? Big question, right? So on video, you would be able to say, you know what? Yes. The first step is we have to go into an agreement where you are agreeing that I get paid for services that I provide you, but I often am able to negotiate into the purchase of a home so that the seller's actually paying the expense of that. So again, there you go. And you're able to, and then you're convincing them to book a consultation with you. So on that same page where you're sharing that information, then below that is the space for them to book a consultation appointment with you. Obviously, you can say, just call me, here's my phone number. But if you want to book an appointment, then, use the information below to book the appointment. So when we can build these any way we want, the way we've set them up. Exclusive landing page for your home search, which is a cool one. I'm sorry, your mobile app. That's worth scanning because we all know that the way we had been doing it is here's a link and it's just download my app and I'm the agent. But it doesn't sell the app or give them value in having the app because the app is so freaking cool and the things that it does, such as when your users are on the app, you get an instant notification on your smartphone telling you they're actively started using the app, giving you the power to just kind of happen to call them and they're like, wait, just a minute, I'm using your app right now. Or every time they click on, it's tracing all of their activity. When they hit a favorites, it's notifying you. They can chat directly with you phone to phone. They can schedule appointments. Everything is so cool, and it's all map based like Zillow. And it shows all the active inventory, and you're the communication point on all of it. So just a cooler way. Home search. Okay, so we're getting closer to done, but there's more. So we went through marketing, how to market, yard signs, open houses, social media, personal connections, marketing materials and stuff like that. Then we say it goes to a link tree. We talked about what link trees is and having a multifaceted, basically landing page menu. And then we have the landing pages themselves. But what happens after that? And that's where even more magic happens because from the landing pages, it goes to the CRM. CRM is a customer relationship management system, right? And that we haven't talked about yet. So let's talk about the CRM, the intelligence behind the landing pages. And that is when someone fills out the form, that information then is put into the database, the CRM. The name, their phone number, their email address, blah, 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 blah. And then from there, magical things are automatically going to happen, which makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to talk about that. Because of the way we're able to customize and program these landing pages, not only are we tucking in their name, their phone number, their email address into the database, but the programming within the landing pages are also adding something called tags. So if we are getting someone off of a yard sign, the tag could be yard sign, or it could be the address. And based on these tags, the CRM knows exactly how to communicate and what kind of messages that we need to automatically send that lead to nurture them into the customer. So cool. So the tag instructs the CRM to activate something called a smart plan. And the smart plan that we built for each one of these landing pages is super valuable. It works and it's intriguing. And that includes text messages and emails. We are able to program when they deliver, how quickly, how far apart, all of that stuff, what the exact messages are, as well. But it even gets better than that. Smart plans are specified information automatically communicated to the lead at specific intervals. And we have beta tested this, so the messaging is compelling and not too much, not too little, enough to make things happen. But this is even more valuable. The AI chatbot within the CRM activates if we want it or if we don't. And you should always activate it, because that thing, and it does all by text. It literally knows how to have a conversation human-like. It would blow your mind. And even to the point where and you could, you should put yourself in there as a customer and see what it does, because if you answer or respond right away, it will respond within 3 to 5 seconds. Another compelling closing question, question or a way to close you. It's smart. It knows what to do. It knows what to say, and it does amazing things. So if you tell it, such as, it may ask, what kind of price range are you looking for? And you get a range. It may say, would you like me to send you some properties? It will literally build a landing page based on that itself and send a link to that customer with exactly what it said it would send. But anytime it interacts and gets a response from the human being or the visitor or the customer, right, you also get sent a message, and all of the correspondence is recorded and saved in the database, and you get a response by text message informing you of the interaction and that, and really trying to tell you your next step. Totally amazing stuff. Nothing else like it. It's cutting edge. So and the only way for you to understand it is actually be the consumer, because you're going to be blown away. I've worked directly with Lofty in some of these things get trained, and I've been trying to be involved with them on that. So AI chatbot, human-like interaction, asks nurturing questions for engagement, responds intelligently. It will take action on request. It can instantly create custom landing page and share with the lead. It will notify you of the lead request or interaction, keeps all notes of communication in the CRM record. and never shy, won't quit attempting until it converts or it's told to stop. Never shy, won't quit attempting until it converts or it's told to stop. So if somebody says stop, it stops. It will halt and it won't communicate with them again. So it listens as well. Then it will inform you that it was requested to stop communicating. Measure your effectiveness. This is valuable information. So the Linktree has analytics. The analytics can be per item or the entire tree. Why is this important? Because it lets you know how effective certain links are, how effective the yard sign is in that particular yard, but this is also gearing information for you that helps you, but at the same time, your customers. So we took the analytics from my daughter's listing where she had it 30 days in the yard, and we watched it. In the first 3 days, it had about 20 hits every single day, and then it started to drift down and stuff. And then she spiked with some marketing, and it spiked back up. But then she actually had something really cool that she shared with her customer, her seller, saying, hey, I can see how many, people might see the sign and it has a phone number, but then they go look it up on Google or something. This is actually creating ways and reasons for them to scan and not have to go to Google and get the information about the property, but then you also are out there speaking to the consumer and bringing in the information or getting the opportunity. So the Lofty landing pages are also all analytically driven. And so you can see the performance of those, whether they're just looking or they do a click through and how many customer leads it's generating. We took the first listing that my daughter had, and within the first week of the listing, she had almost 2,000 views in Lofty. It made 6 leads and went to something called Zillow. It had 417 views, not even 1/4 the views. 4x over supposedly the #1 real estate website. Very compelling information to share with your customer, to say, you know what, look, this is the marketing I do, this is the results I get. Very good stuff. So YouTube, the videos are hosted on YouTube. YouTube is free. They become unlisted videos that you embed into your link trees and your landing pages, but your analytics live there as well. So if someone looks at the video on the landing page or on the link tree, you're also seeing, that how well that's attracting opportunities as well. So it's great because we can kind of measure in determination of what is being effective, what needs to be altered. And sometimes it could be, and we got it down to a science, even the titles you put on the menu in Linktree matter. Some, how you word the button matters. So that's what's taken us hours and months to do, is figure out what's making people, click. We want them to click. And that's the magic behind it. So now we talked about the CRM, and now it's converting more influence leads to become customers. This is really succeeding. I'm not going to play this video, but this is a cool video. I don't mind emailing it to you, but it's when we talk about time management and stuff like that, the one thing that we all know, or we don't, you might not think of this. I don't have any more time in one day than you. I don't have any less, I don't have any more. We all have 24 hours and so many minutes. No one has an advantage of that, but how we're using our time and automating things That's how we buy time, by automation. And that's what this video is. Um, Rory, I first was introduced to this about 8 years ago, and I've taken it to heart. It's the coolest thing. I can share you a link. It's on YouTube. It's about 10 minutes long, and it makes 100% sense. Uh, we always, we've been taught to prioritize. Prioritize is okay, but it doesn't create time, because if you change the order of which you do something, you still takes that much time to do all of those events. But how you actually gauge and create time is to find ways to automate. And almost everything I showed you today automates. It's going to take some upfront time to create it, but once it's created, all you have to do is just share it. And it's self-selling, bringing opportunities, converting leads, and changing the game. And that's what's important. So I'll share that way. Oops, convert more leads. So I just want to show and make special, attention to, these are the agents within the brokerage that committed themselves to coming together. We had several meetings over the course of 3 months, with lots of ideas and making fine tuning and getting all this exactly right so it has the best conversion. And these are the agents within the company that participated in that and helped a lot. So my hands off to them. I put in a lot though myself, so it was a big ordeal. We created a whole group on Facebook, and there's hundreds of posts, and actually created a timeline of everything. It was really, really cool. But and we're still not quite done. We're still fine tuning and stuff, and there will be future ones too. This is Jeremy and Edmund in the video room. We have a full studio with everything, the backdrops, the lighting, the teleprompters, all the projectors, the microphones, everything you need to do this as simple as possible. The steps. There's a picture of the video room. If you're interested in doing this, and I have a big old list right now, people standing in line for it. The first part is the video script. So I have all the video scripts. I give them to you in text because, the way I talk is not necessarily the way you talk, and sometimes you want to tweak it, but the message has got to be compelling and very similar. So I usually give those in text message, but you got to make the videos. From the videos, then we review, the components of putting these together, and then one-on-one appointment to actually start setting them up and plugging everything in, customizing the Lofty landing pages. And then you're gonna, get some of your marketing material, which would be yard signs, open house signs, the Canva stuff and all that. You can put some of your own personal styles and stuff like that. My, daughters uses pink. I use blue. I'm, so you can get personalized with it as well.